in this module, we're going to talk about the Fibonacci retracement tool and how you can use it on the charts. Now, if you remember in the previous modules where we spoke about a trend and how a trend consists of a thrust and a reaction, the Fibonacci tool is really helpful to measure how far the reaction will go. Now, what I mean, let me draw it on the charts. If we have a look here at the USD JPY, what we can see is a number of thrusts and reactions. For example, we have one here, thrust, reaction, and again, thrust, reaction, thrust, reaction, and so on. We can also probably note that there may be potentially in this area an Elliott wave, if you've noticed. As you can see, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being the peak, followed by A, B, C. So, and again, as we mentioned previously, the Elliott wave is in itself a large thrust and reaction, or as we mentioned, impulse wave and corrective wave. Remember, different words for the same thing. Now, the Fibonacci retracement tool is highly helpful as we're able to measure how far down will the reaction go before it begins a second thrust again. Okay, so let's do that. Let's use that on the chart so you can better understand how to use the Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay guys, so with the Fibonacci retracement tool, like we said, in areas of thrust and reaction, we can use the Fibonacci to measure how far the reaction can go. For example, looking at this chart right here, we could also see that there's an Elliott wave. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the peak. So if we'd start from wave 1 from the bottom and plot the Fibonacci retracement tool all the way to the top, as so. So you'd click and drag it from one point to the top. Now you can see it plots down these lines. Now these lines can act as areas of support and resistance. So that's one helpful way that the Fibonacci retracement tool can help you. And secondly, as you can see with this major thrust to the upside, the reaction came as far down as the 0.5, the 50% fib line. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you want to measure how far the retracement could go, you can use the Fibonacci retracement tool to give you an indication as to where it will then stop and then start the thrust again. Okay, now same way we can actually use the same tool to the downside. For example, as you can see here on the right hand side to the down, this is the thrust, the bearish thrust. We've had a reaction and it looks like we're having another thrust to the downside. Let's measure how far that reaction went. So again, I'm going to get the Fibonacci tool. This time I'll be doing it from high to low because it's a bearish. So from high to low. And again, notice how the horizontal line acts as areas of support and resistance. And in this case, the retracement came as far in as the 61 mark there.